Hello and welcome back to Dr. Freda's Power Sessions, where we stop performing growth and start living it. I'm Dr. Freda, and this is a space for real conversations about self trust, emotional intelligence, and what it actually takes to lead yourself through life and love. Here, we don't rush healing, we don't sugarcoat truth, and we don't confuse awareness with transformation. Power isn't about having it all together. It's about being honest enough to show up differently with yourself first. Now, every session is an invitation to pause, reflect, and choose alignment over autopilot. Now, let's get into today's power session. Today's conversation sits at the heart of something we all experience, but rarely dissect correctly, and that is love. Not the fantasy, not the chemistry, not the highlight reel, but love as a mirror. Because if we're honest with ourselves, relationships don't just show us how someone else is, they expose who we are when we're triggered, when we're afraid, when we feel abandoned, when we feel adored. And sometimes what we see in the mirror is uncomfortable. So today I'm joined with my friend, Dr. Vincent Sears. He's a doctor of counseling, education, and supervision. And today we're going to explore what relationships are actually teaching us about ourselves, our wounds, our patterns, our blind spots, and our capacity for growth. So, without further ado, welcome to the power session, Dr. Sears. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dr. Freda?
I am well. So, Dr. Sears is a longtime friend. We've been friends for how long? Maybe like over
20
20
years.
years?
Long time.
We're telling our age, okay? Because,
Mhm.
you know, I've known him since I was one because I'm only 21. No, I'm just playing. So, but yes, so let's just jump right into it because we have a lot to discuss. And I want to just start by saying when I say love is a mirror, some people feel empowered and others feel exposed. So, Dr. Sears, from your perspective, what does it really mean that love reflects back to us ourselves?
Yeah. So when you talk about love as a mirror, for me, it's not the romantic kind, it's the honest kind,
Mm,
right? The
mm,
kind that doesn't just show up with who you are with, but it shows up with who you are becoming when you're attached. And I like what you said in the intro too. When you're afraid, when you're striving, and when you're trying to prove your worth, staying for someone, right?
mm,
And so as I get older, I realize something. I realize that happiness and love are attachments, but happiness
mm,
is a fleeting emotion, right? Love is much
mhm,
bigger than that. Love is responsibility. Love is awareness. Love is the work of not abandoning yourself while trying to stay connected to someone else. And
mm,
that's being one of the biggest lessons that I have learned through this process of falling in and out of love.
mm. You said something. You said something. So, what has one of your own relationships revealed about what you said surprised you when because you alluded to some things that you've learned falling in and out of love? What are some relationships? And it doesn't have to just be romantic. This could be platonic, it could be professional, it can be within our family. What have some relationships in your own personal experience you've noticed reflected some things back to you
Yeah,
about yourself?
absolutely. One of the things relationships revealed to me is that I can see the good in people quickly
Oh,
and maybe too quickly, right?
yes.
Yes. So I see possibility and I see potential. But love humbled me when I realized that seeing someone's potential doesn't mean that they are ready to live in it yet.
Mm,
That realization forced me to ask myself something hard.
mhm,
Was I loving who they were
mm,
or who I hoped they would become?
mm.
And that's a humbling place to be.
Why do you think, now that you went down that road, why do you think that we, men and women, want to fall in love with the person they think or they want that other person or their partner to become? Because I ask that question because I always teach my clients whether that person changes, they shouldn't change for you, they should change for themselves first. Secondly, if that person never changed, will you still be in love with that person that's here in your face today? So, in your opinion, Dr. Sears, why do you think that we, as in the human race, fall in love with that potential and stay longer with relationships, with jobs, with anyone, platonic, romantic, staying too long knowing that that relationship has expired?
Yeah, because I think we confuse chemistry for compatibility,
Mm.
right? Chemistry can feel magical. You're talking for hours, the connection feels effortless, the energy is exciting. But chemistry and compatibility are not the same thing. Chemistry
Mhm.
excites, compatibility sustains you. And I had to learn that just because something feels good doesn't mean it's good for you.
Mm.
You remember that line? Everything sweet ain't good for you. But motion isn't always progress. And so we have to
Mm.
understand that we do see the good in people, right? But we also need to recognize that reality of who they are. And just because we can see where they can go doesn't mean that they're necessarily ready to go there because there's steps that we have to do internally, right? We have to do self reflection. We've got to sit
Mhm.
and be self critical about our spots that we need to work on. And vulnerability should be a sacred ground. And sharing that with your partner is something that I think more couples need to do. But I think as society has taught us that vulnerability is a playground. And so a lot of people shut that down.
And you know what I'm thinking about too?
Hmm.
You know that we get in relationships or start like jobs or anything like that with a person or people, and we're expecting them to change or we aspire them to be better than where they are.
Mhm.
And we sometimes we stay too long for relationships that no longer serves us
Right.
in that moment in our lives. But what I like for people to understand as well is you got to almost have a paradigm shift and realize that every relationship is here to teach you something.
Mhm.
It may not end up at the altar, and
Mhm.
that is okay.
Mhm.
But what did that relationship, what did that job, what did that interaction teach you? And we have to stop looking at the negative, when we break up, like that person is the devil. They didn't do anything for us. I hate them. They destroyed my life. When you continue to have that cycle of thinking, you will always be a victim.
Right.
Victims are unable to grow because someone did something to you.
Right.
When you become empowered,
Right.
you're able to look at a situation, which whether it's positive or negative, and have a learning moment from that and
Mm.
say, hey, okay, this person revealed this in me,
Mm.
whether I liked it, whether I outgrown what this person is trying to show me, whether I learned from what this person is trying to show me. And I
Right.
think that once we start having those mature, empowered conversations with ourselves, we can look at each interaction, each relationship as a teaching moment. And some relationships will end up in retiring from a job after 25 years or leading to the altar with a family and house or whatever is if that's what you chose, that's what you want. But
Mm.
I feel like we get so boggled down in I met this person. Let's just keep it romantic. I met this person and he or she is like the love of my life. And the love of my life do some things that I don't like,
Mm,
things that don't grow me,
mm.
things that actually detract from me, but I can see the best in that person,
Right.
right? So
Right.
I decide to stay
Mm,
or entertain
mm,
or keep that person in my life when their expiration should have been gone 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago.
mm,
And instead of taking what the lessons that the universe or God has bestowed upon you from what they already given you,
mm.
and you're trying to squeeze a juiceless grape. Ain't nothing else coming out. You done got what you needed.
That's right. That's right.
But
That's right.
what are you trying to squeeze? There's nothing else. Because
Right.
now you're trying to get now it's just gonna be some dried up grapes, some
Right.
dried up skin. Is
Right.
nothing else to come out.
Yeah.
And so and it's a human nature.
Right.
We sometimes stay in things, situations way too longer
Right.
for various reasons.
Right.
But I think once we start that mature, empower thought process
Mm.
of what did this person presence try to teach me or reveal to me that I still need work on in myself or what I don't even like or I have outgrown. Like this person came to me on things that I don't even identify anymore. So
Yeah.
thank you, but no thank you
Right.
type of thing.
So there's something I saw recently by Jay
Mhm.
Shed.
Mhm.
She didn't stop caring. She
Mhm.
stopped hoping that things would change. So when I hear
Mm.
statements like that, I pause. Not
Mhm.
because the emotion behind it isn't real.
Mhm.
People do lose hope in relationships, right? And I think that's what you're
Mhm.
saying. But sometimes those kinds of messages turn love into a one-sided story.
Mhm.
And a story
Mhm.
where women are the ones who care and the men are the ones who fail. And I think
Mm.
love is more complicated than that.
Mhm.
Sometimes she didn't stop hoping because things wouldn't change. She stopped because she changed.
Mhm.
Because love has a way of revealing where we were abandoned and where we abandon ourselves trying to hold on to someone or something else when we're trying to hold it together. Relationships are mirrors, like you said. They don't just reveal our partners, they reveal us.
Yes.
Where we're overgiving, where we avoid, where we
Yes.
project our fears, where we expect someone else to heal something inside of us. So sometimes she stopped hoping. Sometimes he stopped feeling safe enough to keep trying. And sometimes both people are simply discovering their limits of who they are and how they are going to be in that moment. That's not
Mhm.
villainy, it's humanity.
Mm. I love that. I love that. And sometimes, honestly, Dr. Sears, I have to talk to my patients. Stop the dumb shit. Like, okay. At the end of the
Yes.
day, stop expecting going to this person expecting something different when they can't give you something they do not have.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And at some point, you have to love yourself enough to say, thank you,
Mhm.
but no thank you.
Right,
And that is okay.
right.
And every relationship, as we said, as what this session is about, is to mirror something in us. Is it mirroring something that we don't want? Is it
Mhm,
mirroring something that we have outgrown?
mm,
Is it mirroring something that we need to grow from? And it's okay. But if we take that step back and say, well, I can love this person enough to change them. Refocus that energy to yourself. I struggle with that. I was married and divorced.
mm,
Okay.
mhm.
I In my mind, I was like, I can love him enough to change him instead of putting that same energy within myself. Change yourself, baby, because you can't change anyone.
That's right,
Externally, you cannot change. You can
that's right.
only change yourself. And that's because if you want to, right?
Yes, yeah. So, what I'll say
But
to that is
yes.
in my 20s, love felt like being chosen, right? But now in my
Mm.
40s, love feels like choosing wisely. So back then I thought love completed me, And
Yeah.
now I believe something different. A good partner complements you. They don't complete you. You can't be half empty waiting for another person to make your equal. Love doesn't live in crevices. It doesn't survive on slices, right? If you don't know what feeds you outside of someone else, you will eventually starve inside a relationship.
You will. And you know what?
Mm,
It's just basic physics too. You cannot attract what you're not.
yes.
So if you are hoping and just praying
Mm,
for someone to come into your life that you're not even ready to receive, you
mhm,
can say with your mouth, like, I want this person, I want that person. But if you're not energetically ready to receive, how do you even know what it looks like when it shows up?
That's deep.
To
That's deep.
receive it, right?
Yeah.
So because I coach men and women, but a lot of women say, this man, he has to have this, and he gotta do this, and he gotta have this to the table. That is what you want, right?
Right.
We all have a little invisible checklist of what we want in a partner, right?
Right.
I did it when I manifested my life partner. I literally wrote a 2-page single space letter
That's a lot.
to my partner. And when I met him, I promise you, and we talked about this,
Right.
I was like, okay,
Mhm,
yes, this is it. However,
mhm,
if we would have met 2 or 3 years ago, I would not even recognize it because
mm,
I wasn't energetically ready
mm,
to even receive that. I
mhm,
was not ready. And so when I coach my clients, especially my females, yes, have your standards, right?
mhm.
But are you able to show up for your partner what you're asking from him or her?
Right.
Do you have that?
Right. Right. And I think what you're saying essentially is understanding self, right? Being self aware enough to
Mhm.
understand who you are and how you in a relationship. But I think it's both, right? Being the right version of
Mhm.
yourself comes first. Because
Yes.
if you don't know who you are, you won't recognize what's right for you, right? And to know
Yes.
what's right for you, you have to know what you can tolerate. And that requires awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we on the call, like we on the like this is how we talk on the phone, just FYI. So,
Yes.
but let me ask you this.
Yes.
In your expertise
Mm,
or even in your own life, have you
right.
ever realized that you were projecting your own fears into a partner? Because like you mentioned earlier, sometimes we do get these try to get these partners to complete us, right? Or
Mhm,
I always say people want people to complete them because they don't want to do the work on themselves. So it's
mhm,
easy to do external validation and work on somebody else or get in other people's business
mhm,
because it takes the focus off of you. But
mhm.
in your practice or in your line of work or even in your own personal experience, have you ever realized you were projecting your own fears into your partner? And what did that moment of awareness look like and feel like to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have. And for me, I think it is witnessing who I am when I become attached. And
Mm,
secondly, I think our first relationship that we ever see is our parents.
mm,
So my parents were married for 22 years and then they got a divorce. And so when you
mhm,
grow up seeing relationships break apart, you realize that that shapes your experience, right? And so for me, I think part of it is believing relationships are fragile and believing that the beauty of the relationship can disappear overnight.
mm,
So when love starts feeling good, sometimes I'm bracing myself.
mm,
Sometimes I try to control things that can't be controlled. And
mm,
sometimes I hold back pieces of myself because I'm projecting and protecting myself against loss that hasn't even happened yet.
mm. You know what's funny? What you're doing
Mm,
energetically,
mm,
you're you're bracing yourself for disappointment, basically, because
yes.
you know that it's inevitable,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But by you bracing yourself for the inevitable, you're actually creating the inevitable.
Correct.
So what you're trying to protect yourself from, you're actually creating it. That's how
Mhm.
powerful we all are.
Right.
So my advice to anyone who's going through that is, again, look at every relationship as an objective, like
Mhm.
objectively, not as we're going in to get married.
Mm.
Just go into a relationship as interesting.
Yeah.
What have I learned from this
Yeah.
about myself?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I know the butterflies are gonna come and the chemistry is
Yes.
gonna take over,
Right.
that beautiful lady is going to like sashay into your life, into your
Mm.
DMs and text message. And you get the butterflies when they text you in the morning. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, handsome. Don't do that to me, hon. Don't put me on no text message thread. Anyway, but we get that.
Yeah.
But if you can take a step back,
Mm.
and this takes discipline. This takes
Mhm.
so much discipline.
Mm.
And not go in thinking the worst or even
Mhm.
thinking the best.
Mm.
Just go in thinking almost selfishly, what can I learn in this relationship?
Right.
And if it works out, great. And
Mhm.
if it doesn't, that's okay too.
Yeah.
You
I
still
think
win.
yes. Yes. I think a lot of people well, one thing I tell my students is enjoy the process, right? Enjoy the
Yes.
process of this work, enjoy the process of getting to know someone and being present. Be where your feet are. So there's that. The other
Yes.
part of this, I think, is best selves. Right? I think we show up in
Mm,
relationships at the beginning being our best selves, right? A fragmented portion of ourselves, and that's how we show up. But love is more like naked and afraid,
mm,
right? When you're in the depths of a relationship,
mhm,
it's about being connected to someone so deeply that you can sit there and be naked and afraid with them because it's about collaboration.
mhm,
Right? And so when we talk about trench warfare, we talk about this deep bonding. And so if you're at your lowest point, are you staring back at me and are we both sitting here naked and afraid? Or am I showing up
mm,
as my best self and you're sitting there naked and afraid and we're not recognizing each other because there's an imbalance? Uh, so confronting the things that we don't want to look at in the mirror, I think is important. And I think this is an important conversation and
mhm.
love has taught me that effort alone does not sustain relationships. Alignment
No,
does. If you're
no.
not aligned with your partner, then there is nothing that can be sustained. And if you're always the one pouring, eventually you'll be the one that runs empty.
Mhm. Yes. Always, always. And you can't again, you can't give something that you don't have, and you can't expect someone to give something that they don't have. And so we have to be realistic. And yes, with love and relationships, it's meant to have this vulnerability. You
Mhm,
want to be with someone who make you feel seen, heard, and safe.
mhm.
And but realize that everyone have their bad days too. Is it a bad day or is it their personality? Is that who they are?
Yeah,
There's a difference too, right?
and that's recognizing reality versus potential.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And you made a great point earlier that the way you seen your parents' relationship indirectly, directly shaped the way you look at your relationships as an adult, right?
right.
The
As
same with anybody,
right.
right? We learn how to love in our formidable years through our caregivers. My parents divorced when I was 2. So for me, I'm on the opposite end of you.
Mm,
I'm the opposite where, okay, I'm having a good time. And if it work out, it does. If it don't, it don't. Because that's what I was conditioned.
right.
But as I became an adult and became more emotionally intelligent
Mhm,
and available, I
mhm,
realized if it does work out, that's amazing. I
mhm.
learned something and learning something. But if it doesn't work out, I've still learned something. It doesn't even through the heartache, through the tears, through the Tony Braxton CDs. Okay.
Right,
Look, all of it,
right,
right?
right.
But I am in the place now where I can learn from everything.
Yeah,
And that's what relationships do. If a relationship is not teaching you something, then honestly, you're doing something wrong. And that's whether y'all work out or not.
Mhm. Yeah. I also think ego reacts quickly.
Yes.
It wants answers now. It
Mm.
wants to be right. Intuition is quiet. It
Yes.
waits, right?
Mhm.
If the feeling remains after reflection and calm, that's intuition. If it
Mm.
disappears once your emotions settle, it was ego.
Mm.
And learning the difference has saved me a lot of unnecessary conflict.
Mm. So, and it's good. I'm glad you said that with the intuition, considering you are a Pisces,
That I
are
am
the most
intuitive.
intuitive out of the zodiac sign. Thank
Mhm.
you. The
Yeah.
most intuitive. So
Mhm.
you have to learn how to tap into it. And I have other videos where I talk about how you get dropped down with yourself and use your body as a compass to get to your emotions and things of that nature. But with that said, I also want to ask you, what patterns did you have to confront in yourself before you could experience healthier love? Or have you noticed any patterns that you usually go through when you're dating or within clients that you work with that continue to lead them down unfamiliar or familiar relationships, or have you noticed any patterns?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think for me, the biggest pattern that I've had to confront is overgiving, especially in my
Mm.
20s and 30s. When I care about
Mhm.
someone, I show up,
Mhm.
conversation, time, attention. But sometimes giving a lot early creates an imbalance because love isn't sustained by effort. That's what we just talked about.
Mhm.
And I had to learn that lesson slowly. And so now I pulled it back and I feel like society has taught everybody, well, if they wanted you, then they would show this effort. When in reality, it has to be a balance,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Effort and alignment together sustain love.
Mhm.
I guess the other pattern for me is being gracious and patient with people, but also understanding that pain can be misused.
Mhm.
Sometimes people weaponize
Mhm.
my vulnerability to try to keep control in relationships.
Mm.
And when that happens, trust disappears, right? The moment someone starts to manipulate your wounds, the relationship stops being a partnership. It starts becoming about survival and it becomes dangerous. Because the moment you give someone responsibility for your happiness is the moment you mishandle the illusion that they become your enemy. Love is not a war,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
so knowing yourself matters, understanding the patterns that you may have in relationship with trying to fix people, with trying to be too compassionate or overgiving, with sitting in abuse. I think all these things need to be recognized for myself, for clients, for people that want to just have love in their life and know your worth. And it's not attached to any other person, right? Or the
Mhm.
relationship.
Why do you think you developed that pattern of overgiving to sustain relationships?
Like, you're trying to get deep.
Or your clients? What do you think? Or a general question is, why do you think we create patterns or habits to
R-
sustain relationships?
right. I think it's a comfort thing.
Mm.
I think one, understanding your worth. And if you don't have an understanding of that, then
Mhm.
you will fall for something that feels comfortable and something that's predictable.
Mhm.
And predictability allows for that space of a sense of safety, but it's really not safe. It's just, I know what's about to come, so I'm not anxious.
Mhm.
But I think as I get older, I realize something. Love is not about possession, it's about recognition, recognizing who someone is and being honest about who you are in their presence.
Mhm.
To know what's for you, you have to know what you can tolerate.
Mhm.
To love someone well, you have to know what feeds you when you're alone.
Mhm.
A good partner doesn't complete you, like we said, they complement you and they sit at the edge of your mind, but they can also teach you how to fly.
Mm.
This is what you were talking about. Like in relationships, you need to be able to humble yourself enough to learn from your partner, but also be able to teach your partner things too. And love has taught me this in my 40s. Chemistry might bring two people together, but character is what allows them to stay. So before I go searching or anybody goes searching for the right person, you have to make sure you met yourself first.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that means looking in the mirror long enough to see yourself.
Mm. Which could be so uncomfortable. And something you said earlier, people continue to attract and stay in relationships that's familiar to them.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know how it's muscle memory. You can get on a bike,
Hmm.
you can ride a bike.
Hmm.
You can not ride a bike for 20 years, and you can get back on and be like, okay, I remember. It's
Hmm.
the same thing with your emotions. I call it emotional memory, right? It's a
Hmm.
blueprint in our brain of, oh, this is toxic. Okay, my nervous system understands this.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
understands the manipulation. It understands the toxicity. It understands the emotional abuse. Like, I don't like it. It makes me feel like crap.
Hmm.
It detracts from me, but it's something that I know is predictable.
Hmm.
I understand it.
Hmm.
So I'm going to continue to attract this because you can only attract what you are.
Hmm.
So I'm going to attract manipulation. I'm going to attract dysfunction because that is indirectly what I know, what I'm
Hmm.
comfortable with,
Hmm.
and what I'm used to. For
Hmm.
an example, if a person who is emotionally healthy, which is why I said earlier, before meeting Matt, 2 years prior to that, I wouldn't have recognized it because
Hmm.
I wasn't emotionally, mentally, even spiritually ready for that. I
Hmm.
really wasn't.
Hmm.
And so you have to be able to even recognize it. But in order to recognize it, you have to be in that space to even know what you're looking for. So
Hmm.
you're going to continue that pattern of attracting what's familiar, even if it's uncomfortable for you
Hmm.
or to you.
Hmm. I want to go back to your question because I had a chance to think about it.
Okay.
Have I projected fear onto my partner?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't show up dramatically. It was subtle, right? Fear of not
Mm.
being enough, fear of not being fully seen. It showed up as overfunctioning, doing more, giving more, trying to be the stable one. I thought I was loving deeply, but sometimes I was just trying to secure my place. And when that awareness hits you, it's humbling because the realization is that you are protecting the relationship, but you're actually protecting your insecurities.
Mm. Mm. That is the $1,000,000 statement.
Mm,
We went all around this whole podcast today, this whole power session to say that statement. We are protecting our insecurities.
that's right.
Insecurities are linked to beliefs we have about ourselves.
Hmm.
I want people to question those beliefs. Are there your beliefs? Are there your parents' beliefs? Remember, we learn how to love, how to give from our guardians or caregivers at a young age. Do
Hmm.
we still have outdated beliefs that no longer serves us?
Mm,
Are they societal beliefs?
mm,
Beliefs can be rewritten time and time again, but
right.
what are you believing? Because your beliefs correlates with your securities and or insecurities, your
Yeah.
esteem about yourself. So what do you believe about love? What do you believe about what you deserve? What do you believe about relationships, whatever they should look like?
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Shame is about belief, fear is
Mhm.
about separation,
Mhm.
right? And so if I have shame around love or attachment or partnership, then I start believing these things about myself and how I show up and how I should be treated. Right. And
Mm.
then we respond with fear, and there is this separation that occurs within the construct of the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And now you're creating what you don't want. Now your nervous system is preparing for that rejection, to be
Right.
let down, even though you poured your all into something,
Right.
but you directly influence it to happen all over again. For
Right.
one, you
Self-fulfilling.
attracted the same type of Yes, exactly. For one, you attracted the same type of person because
Mhm.
they're familiar to you.
Right.
Two, you tried to manipulate or control a situation
Mhm.
because we have this fallacy thinking that we can control externally, and the only thing we can control is ourselves. We are the
Mhm.
creators of ourselves. And
Mhm.
then three, when the outcome that we don't want or what we think is negative or unfavorable, we are salty and we have this negative disposition versus learning and saying, huh, interesting. What did I learn from this situation that continues to happen that I don't want about myself? And
Mhm.
that's when you can start asking those empowering questions about what beliefs still exist in you. This is crazy because these are our conversations. Like we talk for
Absolutely.
2 hours, an hour, 2 hours.
Mm.
We don't talk every day, but when we do talk, it's just like it's 2 hours at a pop. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. And just reflection on this, I think for me, love has taught me something about who I am, right? It's not just about the people who stay. It's not about the people I didn't know how to love properly when they were standing right in
mm,
front of me. Maturity means being honest about that I didn't do a good
mm,
job at times in my life. There are women who cross my
mhm,
path that I am still learning and reflecting on how I showed up.
mhm,
And a lot of that is still learning patience, still learning presence. And if my growth came at the cost of your disappointment, I'm sorry. And not because I regret the lesson of love, but because I wish I had known what I understand now. Love
mm.
deserves better than confusion. Love deserves awareness.
Yes. If love is confusing
Mhm.
and just always hard and fighting, that's not love.
Right. Right.
Like that love is not confusing. If you
Right.
have to figure out if it's a puzzle piece or a rhyme, that's not love. Confusion is not love. That's just two different things. And I like to say too, when you I have my clients do a exercise where they put into boxes each relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, professional, and I start with their parents first. And so I always tell them to write down the person's name, and I want you to put them in one or all three of the boxes. What did this relationship give you? Do
Mm.
you need to apologize to it, meaning you were the person who wronged that person? Or did this relationship bless you, meaning it gave you something unexpectedly? Or thirdly, does this relationship need you to forgive it? Did the person wrong you and you need to forgive them? And I have them to work on it for a week because I want them to look at every relationship of importance, starting with their parents. Do you want to bless it, forgive it, or apologize?
Mm. It's
One
deep.
of Yeah, and you can put each relationship in one or all three of those boxes.
Mhm.
And when you start looking at relationships in a more holistic
Mm.
approach, then it empowers you to be more intentional, more decisive with the people you let into your life, into your
Mm.
vortex.
Right.
You can't control other people, but you can control who comes into your life.
Yes, yes, boundaries. But and yeah, who you share energy with. I
Mhm,
also give a lesson to my clients as well. One of the
mhm,
things I tell them is, so if you have ever loved and lost, if you ever hurt someone or been hurt yourself,
mhm,
don't rush past the lesson. Sit with it,
mm,
because love
yes.
doesn't just ask who was right. Love
Mhm,
asks a harder question. Who did you become while you were
mm,
loving them?
mm,
And if you were brave enough to answer that honestly, I think the next time love finds you, you'll meet it differently.
Mm,
So
mm.
love isn't about never breaking hearts. It's about learning how to hold one responsibly, including your own.
Yes. I love that. Oh my goodness. Dr. Sears, we definitely got to have you back on the power session because we have so much more to talk about.
All right.
So
You can put me on a panel too. Like we can talk. Let's chop it up.
let's go. Let's go. So, in closing, I want all our listeners to understand that love is not here to complete you, like Dr. Sears said. It's here to clarify you. So when we stop asking why are they like this or why is this situation like this and
Mm,
start asking why does this move me the way it does
mm,
or why does this keep showing up?
mm,
We shift from powerlessness to power.
mm.
So, again, Dr. Sears, thank you for your honest conversation, your experience, the jewels that you drop for our listeners.
Mm.
Please tell everyone how we can work with you and get in touch with you.
Oh, Dr. Freda, I am not online yet. On the
But you are on LinkedIn, so you are online.
yes, I'm on LinkedIn. I do have a website that is in under construction. So
Okay.
Missy Elliott, you remember that under construction? You can hit me up there. You can also shoot me an email if you need to, Vincent Sears at gmail.com. But yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Dr. Sears, thank you again for dropping into the power session. And I'm Dr. Freda, and I will talk to you all next